The Chief Executive's second policy address district forum. Financial Secretary Paul Chan says the government's operating account may return to a surplus by the end of this financial year. And a U.S. federal agency opens investigation into former special counsel Jack Smith. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Chief Executive John Lee attended the second Policy Address District Forum in Yuen Long this morning to tap public views for his policy address scheduled for September. About 120 people from various backgrounds took part in the forum. For the second Sunday in a row, Chief Executive John Lee attended a Policy Address District Forum, this time at Yuen Long Public Secondary School in the run-up to September's speech before the Legislative Council. The 2-hour district-level consultation was attended by over 120 participants, including students, residents, and community representatives. At the forum, a headhunter specializing in senior-level recruitment voiced concerns over the exodus of mid- and high-end talent from Hong Kong in the past 6 to 7 years, owing to the relocation of regional headquarters of multinational firms. John Lee said government data showed a record high in foreign companies registered in Hong Kong. While the city leader notes the policy direction has been right, he admits implementation details can be improved. Another participant wonders youth engagement in local capital markets can be encouraged with the removal of Hong Kong's double taxation in stocks, especially when the US, Japan, Taiwan, and A-shares on the mainland don't charge twice for the purchase and sale of stocks. This Sha Tin resident meanwhile suggests positioning Sha Tin as a pilot zone for a water and land integrated sports ecosystem centered around the Shingmen River and Tolo Harbor, and this can help promote the culture of sports but also boost Hong Kong's mega event economy. Likening the government's policy-making to a major artery and district-level efforts as the capillaries, John Lee said collaboration from both sides are essential for achieving success in governance. They include identifying high-potential tourism sites and venues for cultural heritage projects. Following today's district forum, Lee said the administration has organized more than 40 public consultations and received over 5,000 written submissions, around 10% more than the same period last year. He said the city's path of economic transformation is the only way to stay ahead of competitors. He acknowledged the varying paces of progress among different sectors, but stressed the need to move forward collectively with national support and shared resolve. Financial Secretary Paul Chan said the government's operating account may return to a surplus by the end of the current fiscal year. Wu Sang-ai reports.
Hong Kong recorded GDP growth of 3.1% year-on-year in the second quarter of the year. Financial Secretary Paul Chan forecasts that growth will continue into the third quarter, but the pace may slow down. Speaking on a radio program, Chan said third quarter economic performance may be affected by less vibrant export activity. But Chan said the government's operating account may return to a surplus by the end of the current financial year. Earlier, authorities had predicted a deficit, saying a surplus may emerge in the fiscal year of 2026 to 27. The finance chief said the local stock market has been active since September last year, leading to an increase in the government's stamp duty revenue. He stressed that the government's overall financial status is stable and healthy. On a Sunday blog, Chan announced the return of the Hong Kong Shopping Festival, a one-month event promoting the city's products on mainland's e-commerce platforms, including Rednote and JD.com. Wu 9, TVB News.
A U.S. federal agency has opened a formal investigation into former special counsel Jack Smith, who oversaw 2 criminal probes into President Donald Trump after his first term in the White House. The Office of Special Counsel is looking into whether Smith violated a law prohibiting federal employees from using their positions for political activity. Nasty Karim with more.
Washington, D.C., August 1st, 2023. Jack Smith, special counsel appointed by the Department of Justice, makes an announcement.
Good evening. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding.
It is now Smith who is under investigation for those very words uttered that launched 2 criminal probes into then-former President Trump.
Because I want to watch this witch hunt
Smith's investigations focus on an accusation that Trump illegally retained classified material at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, and another related to Trump's attempt to overturn his 2020 election loss that sparked the January 6, 2021 assault on the U.S. Capitol. Trump denied any wrongdoing. The former war crimes prosecutor resigned from his post in January as Trump was starting his second term. He had abandoned the two cases which never went to trial because of a Justice Department policy against prosecuting a sitting president. Smith had yet to make a statement in response. The Office of Special Counsel, or OSC, distinct to Smith's title as a special counsel, launched the investigation after a request by this man, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, an Arkansas Republican. Cotton had accused Smith of aggressively pursuing cases against Trump with the aim of derailing his 2024 presidential election campaign. The OSC is looking into whether Smith violated the Hatch Act, a law prohibiting federal employees from using their positions for political activity. Both cases were brought in 2023, well over a year before the election. Merrick Garland, the then Attorney General who appointed Smith in 2022, has said that politics played no part in the investigation. The OSC is an independent watchdog agency and has no criminal enforcement power. It does have the authority to impose fines and other sanctions. Nazri Karim, TVB News.
India will continue to buy Russian oil, according to officials, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's earlier claim that New Delhi may stop such purchases. When asked last Friday, Trump said that he heard the buying may stop, adding he thought it would be a good step. However, Indian sources said today there will be no immediate changes because it is not so simple to just stop buying overnight, given long-term contracts. Trump had threatened additional penalties on India for buying oil from Moscow, in addition to the 25% tariff on India's exports to the U.S. Russia is now the leading oil supplier to India. India is the world's third largest oil importer and consumer, with Russian oil accounting for about 35% of its overall supplies. A Miami jury decided that Elon Musk's car company, Tesla, was partly responsible for a deadly crash in Florida involving its autopilot driver assist technology. Tesla must pay the victims more than $240 million in damages. Dylan Angulo was seriously injured in the crash, while his girlfriend, Nibel Benavides-Leon, represented in court by her sister, was killed, allegedly after being thrown 23 meters. The federal jury held that Tesla bore significant responsibility because its technology failed and that not all the blame can be put on a reckless driver. The driver admitted he was distracted by his cell phone before hitting the young couple. Tesla said it would appeal. The decision ends a 4-year-long case. Russia today lifted a tsunami warning for the Kamchatka Peninsula after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake hit the nearby Kuril Islands. Residents were still advised to move away from the shore. The Pacific Tsunami Warning System, which gauged the quake at 7.0, said there was no tsunami warning after the quake. Overnight, the Krasheninnikov volcano in Kamchatka erupted for the first time in 600 years. The incidents may be connected to the huge earthquake that rocked Russia's Far East last week, triggering tsunami warnings as far away as French Polynesia and Chile. It was followed by an eruption of Klyuchevskoy, the most active volcano on the Kamchatka Peninsula. The authorities on the Kamchatka and the Kurils said they have been prepared for a major quake for a long time and acted quickly to protect the population. Ukrainian anti-corruption agencies said they have arrested a number of officials involved in a major graft scheme. This only days after the agency's independence was restored following street protests throughout the country. In a statement published jointly by anti-graft investigators and prosecutors, it was revealed that officials were arrested for making state contracts with supplier companies at inflated prices and receiving kickbacks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said there must be zero tolerance for corruption and a clear teamwork to expose graft. The independence of Kyiv's anti-corruption agencies was reinstated by its parliament last Thursday, after a move to take it away resulted in the country's largest demonstrations since the Russian invasion in 2022. Top European officials had told Zelensky that Ukraine was jeopardizing its bid for European Union membership by curbing the powers of its anti-graft authorities. South Korea's historic presidential compound, Cheongwa-dae, popularly known as the Blue House, has closed its doors to the public. This as preparations began for President Lee Jae-myung's plan to move the presidential office back to the site later this year. For more than 70 years, Chung Wha-de had been the office and residence of 12 former presidents until 2022. Former leader Yoon Suk-yeol moved the presidential office to Yongsan in 2022 and turned the Blue House into a popular tourist attraction. When the current president was campaigning for the country's top office, he had made returning the presidential office to Chung Wha-de one of his core campaign promises. The government said it will consider reopening parts of the complex to the public once facility upgrades and safety checks are complete, although a timeline has yet to be agreed. And still ahead, the U.S. Middle East envoy meets families of hostages held by Hamas. Authorities step up anti-mosquito measures in Kuntong after the city's first imported case of chikungunya. And KMB launches a new open-top double-decker bus service for tourists and local sightseers. Welcome back. Hamas has rejected a claim by the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, who had told families of Israeli hostages that the Palestinian group could lay down its weapons. Hamas says it will not disarm until there is an independent Palestinian state. The relatives of those held in Gaza also rejected Steve Witkoff, saying nothing new had come from his latest round of diplomacy. The families were angered by a Hamas video showing one captive looking frail and being forced to dig his own grave. David Garrett with more.
Times of Israel photos show his physical decline from his capture at a music festival in 2023 through to this year. Comparing his appearance in the video to a shot from February, it's clear David has lost a lot of weight in recent months. David's family were among the relatives of the 49 remaining hostages who met with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
The humanitarian aid flowing into Gaza, meant to alleviate suffering, must reach Eviatar, Guy, and all the other hostages immediately. We must not allow Hamas to wield life and death with such unchecked barbarity. To remain silent now is to be complicit in their slow, agonizing death.
As the rally continued, the father of Guy Illouz, who had also spoken with Witkoff, told the crowd the meeting was not encouraging and he does not see a current pathway to peace or hostage release.
It is all or nothing.
All or nothing, no more catchphrases is what Witkoff said, Michelle Illouz explained. Witkoff said, we either return everybody home now or nothing. But I told the US envoy that nothing is not an option. Nothing is annihilation, disgrace and neglect of the hostages. In Gaza, it is children malnourished, starved by war and Israel's blockade. O'Day and Mohammed are 3 and 4, but look younger. Already sick with a nerve condition, they should be growing, but their body weight has halved in the 2 years of conflict. Their mother wants to stop their constant cries, but says there is never enough food, medicine or diapers. Some help is coming. French planes, which took off from Jordan, parachuting in supplies. The second aid drop in as many days. The operation involved help from Germany and the UAE. Supplies were filmed falling into central Gaza. David Garrett, TVB News.
Authorities implemented anti-mosquito measures at Tat Estate in Kuntong after Hong Kong recorded its first imported chikungunya case. Mimosa reports.
On Sunday morning, Food and Environmental Hygiene Department deployed staff to disperse anti-mosquito spray around the hill area opposite Tat Estate. Some staff removed weeds above the drainage channel. Apart from hygiene measures, the Home Affairs Department's care team distributed mosquito prevention toolkits to residents. The city's first chikungunya patient is a 12-year-old boy who lives at Tat Estate and developed fever, rash and joint pain on Thursday. The boy visited Fushan, Guangdong in late July and recalled being bitten by mosquitoes during his trip. Some residents said they are not concerned by the disease.
We
live on the upper floors. If they have enough anti-mosquito measures, it is not a concern, he said. To prevent chikungunya, a housing estate in Chinyi used a cold fogger to get rid of mosquitoes. Comprising a driver, pesticide tank, and nozzle system, the cold fogger can spray pesticide solution efficiently over a large area. Numbers 9, TVB News.
Kowloon Motorbus, or KMB, has launched a new open-top double-decker bus service traveling along Hong Kong's landmarks, catering to tourists and local sightseers. The inaugural journey departed from Tsim Sha Tsui Pier at about 10 a.m. Under the drizzle, passengers on the upper deck had to don raincoats. The themed vehicles feature non-air-conditioned retro models nicknamed hot dog buses and the air-conditioned white livery. Running on 30-minute intervals, they serve daily on the hour-long HK1 route between Tsim Sha Tsui Pier and Wong Tai Sin, passing through places such as the West Kowloon Cultural District and Yau Ma Tei. The fare is $40. For patients with heart problems, a coronary angioplasty is a common solution. But some doctors say that's not a permanent fix. Patients should strictly control their cholesterol level after surgery through medications and lifestyle changes to prevent reblockage and reduce cardiovascular risks. Jenny Jiang reports.
Patients with heart problems are often advised to undergo a procedure known as coronary angioplasty when their arteries are more than 70% narrowed or blocked. It is a minimally invasive cardiac procedure with comparatively little trauma, quick recovery, and an approximate 95% success rate. An angioplasty involves widening the narrowed coronary arteries and restoring proper blood flow. However, it is not a cure-all. Recurrence rate is up to 10% if patients do not rigorously manage cholesterol levels. The hidden danger lies in low-density lipoprotein, also known as bad cholesterol, that builds up in arterial walls and forms deposits that harden into plaque, making the blood flow difficult. Traditional therapies include lifestyle changes as well as medicines such as statins. But research has shown limited effect, with 80% of patients still failing to meet the recommended treatment goals. To reduce the levels of bad cholesterol, PCSK9 inhibitors have proven effective. Clinical trials demonstrate this inhibitor can further reduce low-density lipoprotein levels by 43 to 60% when used in combination with oral cholesterol-lowering drugs.
The drug is available already for more than 5 years already. And also it's proven to be safe. This drug is also available in the government hospital.
Doctors suggest while medication is crucial, patients should also commit to lifestyle changes for optimal results and consult physicians for the most appropriate treatment. Jenny Jiang, TVB News.
To sports, today is Sport for All Day. Multiple recreational and sports facilities under the Leisure and Cultural Services Department are open for free use by the public. Despite the unstable weather, some citizens were keen for a dip in this swimming pool in Ma'anshan. Other facilities that are free to use include badminton courts, basketball courts, and fitness rooms, but most require prior registration. The government hopes to encourage the public to exercise more and support the 15th National Games co-hosted by Hong Kong in November. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.